Hey guys, my name is Nick and welcome back to the channel. And in this video what I'm going to be doing is breaking down the value of the new Adeptus Mechanicus Start Collecting set for 2020. So let's get straight into the video. For those that have been around the channel for some time, they probably know that I do like to do a value breakdown of any special box set, start collectings, whatever comes around at Christmas and so on, just so I've got it in my head how much value there really is in these sets, and share a few thoughts and opinions on whether it's actually worth buying. And with all the new kits coming out for Adeptus Mechanicus, they have actually repackaged and redone their start collecting set. In this repackaged Adeptus Mechanicus 2020 Start Collecting, we get 12 models in total, which isn't a particularly high model count, let's be honest. But what we get for our £60 RRP from Games Workshop, you can obviously source that cheaper from any local discount store. We're going to get one Tech Priest Engine Seer, one box of Skitarii Vanguard / Rangers, which are 10 models in total, and one Scorpius Dune Rider, which can also be built in the Disintegrator configuration. Looking at the individual values of each of these sets that they've combined into this one box, then that Tech Priest Engine Seer comes in at £20. The box of 10 Skitarii Rangers / Vanguard come in at a value of £27.50. And finally, the Scorpius combo kit, so you can build two different types of models, comes in at £45. So if you were to buy all of these individual kits all on their own, that is a total individual recommended retail price of £92.50. Doing the quick mathematics on this then, £92.50 means we are saving £32.50 by buying this bundle at £60. That comes in at a whopping 35% discount. The £60 box set is at the higher end of the scale. There's pretty much a 50-50 split really of £55 and £60 box set that are going at the moment, so it is at the upper end of that, but with the recent price increases this isn't unsurprising. The big question though is, if you're going to sink £60 into this set, do you want all of the models that come within it? This is actually quite a difficult question to answer at this particular time, because we are on the cusp of 9th edition and we know there are going to be some rules changes. Purely based on still taking detachments, which we know is a thing, but it's just we're not going to have to worry about detachment types to generate command points. We were getting basically an HQ option, a troops option, and a tank. And that tank, of course, depending which configuration you build it in, could be a heavy support or a dedicated transport. As we know, we're going to get to keep our existing codex, and based off of the points that we've got between that and the existing errata and chapter approved changes, the maximum points we can get out of this one box is 258 points. That's taking Skitarii Vanguards. With each of the various upgrades, we get one different type of upgrade. That's the Arc Rifle, the Plasma Caliber, and the Transuranic Arquebus. And then building the Scorpius as a Disintegrator version, we get that 258 point value. If we take them as Rangers and we take the Transport option, we get far less points for our money. And if you play power level, that is a power level of 16. Now we also know that the new Crusade format is going to be using power level, so that could be interesting to know. But does that mean it is not of any value to you? Now, as mentioned in 8th edition, you really did want to try and build yourself a battalion, so you would always need troops and you would always need an HQ, and this would contribute towards building one of those out. With 9th edition just around the corner, I expect many people will be building slightly different lists of what they've played with within 8th. But in my opinion, an HQ is still going to be required, and the Tech Priest Engine Seer is super cheap on points, and your Skitarii Vanguard or your Rangers are going to be still valuable towards capturing objectives and so on. And we don't really know what these missions are going to look like, but we always know, and it has been throughout the eras of Warhammer 40k, troops on the ground really do contribute to taking objectives in your gameplay. As for taking the Disintegrator and taking that Scorpius Disintegrator build, we also know that within 9th edition there's going to be some big changes around vehicles. In 8th edition they typically struggled if they got tagged in combat, as in they were engaged with combat, which meant that they couldn't really shoot unless they've got some very special rule to be able to back out of combat and then still fire. or some other magical rule that they could potentially use, or stratagem. We've been told in all of the online communication from Games Workshop that that is going to change, and your tanks are still going to be good to go, even if they get charged and are not destroyed, obviously, but they're going to be far more potent on a battlefield. Therefore, for me, the Scorpius Disintegrator certainly is going to have a place in your future army. If we take the Scorpius in the Dune Rider configuration and make it a dedicated transport, I still think they're going to have value, especially around the new terrain rules that are coming with 9th edition. The vehicle isn't very big, and therefore has a potential of being concealed behind cover, and we also know that true line of sight, as we've been playing through the last edition, is potentially going to be going away with a lot more obscured and ground floor sort of covering and blocking line of sight and so on, so you can't peer through windows with a las cannon and take this out at range. So loaded up with troops, I've got a funny feeling this is, along with many other transports, going to be a far more viable option going into that 9th edition, but only time will tell as that meta evolves. So in summary then, is this a good getting started set? In my opinion, I would say yes. We've got a very cheap HQ, we've got a blob of troops, which is always valuable in my opinion, and we've got a versatile build out of a tank, so you can fulfill or add to your existing collection a gap if you don't have a disintegrator version, or if you're looking to hold on to see what happens in 9th edition. Maybe that is the better option, is to work out which build you go with based on as soon as we see those new rules come out for the vehicles, to see whether that tank option with the bigger gun or the transport option is going to be more viable for you. But at 35% off, I'm in for this one if you are an Adeptus Mechanicus player. I hope you enjoyed this brief breakdown of the new Adeptus Mechanicus Getting Started 2020 set, and if you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I shall catch you guys on the next video.